Hi, welcome to my channel, and today I would like to talk about German language and what difficulties I face while learning it. I have been learning German for 6 or 7 years, so it's quite a long period of time, and there are some things that I still find difficult and that still blow my mind when I think about them. And before we start, I would like to say that I love German culture, love German people, German cuisine, and everything that is connected with Germany. So I'm not trying to offend someone, I'm not trying to offend German people. It's just a video where I make fun a bit, and maybe I laugh even at myself because it's really funny. After all these years, these things still drive me crazy a bit. So let's get started. The first thing that is very difficult for me is the word order, and it sounds like, oh, word order, English has word order as well, but in German it's a bit different. So the verb must be on the second place. And it might sound quite easy, so just remember the verb second place, as simple as that. But no, when it is a clause and there is a subordinating conjunction, the verb must be on the last position in the sentence, and it sounds like this. For example, he didn't come because he tired was. Sounds strange, I understand. But just think about it. This sentence is quite short, and when it is long, it's really hard to understand the sense of the sentence because you have to listen up to the end to get understanding what the person wants to say. And when you talk, you always have to control that you don't forget to say the verb at the end, or you don't say this verb in the middle of the sentence. And honestly, for me, it is a large question. I just can't understand how German people do it automatically. It's very hard for me to imagine that their brain works in a such way so they don't think about it while speaking. And it's just, I think that this ability is just priceless. So, and you would say, okay, last position, but when there is a modal verb, everything changes dramatically. Then the modal verb is on the second position and the other verbs are on the last position. And when there is a clause, this modal verb goes on the last position and other verbs stay before this verb, modal verb, and it is possible that there are 3 verbs in a row, and it's really hard to understand these sentences because there are all these verbs, they are together, and you just sit and look at it and like, what? The second thing that drives me crazy is that there are genders in this language, and my language, my native language, has it as well. But when you learn a foreign language, it becomes really a huge problem because you can learn grammar, you can learn new words, but when you have to learn genders and there is no logic in it, it becomes really difficult, and especially it makes me frustrated that there is, for example, so the word Gabel, which is fork, and there is article, which is article, and this fork, German fork, is she, and this German article is he, despite the fact that they both end with el. But then we go to the word that is Mädchen, which is girl in German, and this word, despite the fact that a girl is a woman, it is it because of the suffix hen, which is met hen. And this why. So when it comes to a fork or an article, ending doesn't matter. And when it comes to this word, it matters. And this is why we have got a girl, which is now it. It's very difficult for me to understand it. The third thing that drives me crazy is that there are words that consist of several words. For example, Staatsangehörigkeit, Haftpflichtversicherung, and I'm going to leave translation somewhere here because I know that Staatsangehörigkeit is like citizenship, but I honestly forgot what Haftpflichtversicherung is in English. I know it in my own language, but I have no idea how it is in English. So yes, and these are only 2 words. And just imagine there are hundreds of such words, and you constantly see them in texts everywhere, and you have to read them, and then you have to use them in your speech. I think that if people want to become like Eminem, they have to learn German, and then they'll be able to rap like he can do it. Fourth, there are 4 cases in German language, and nouns. Thank you, Siri. You are always on time. So the fourth. There are 4 cases in German language, and nouns change according to these 4 cases. Not only nouns, but the articles of these nouns. For example, in German, doctor is der Arzt. So it would be der Arzt, den Arzt, dem Arzt, des Arztes. And just imagine, when you talk, you have to control the word order. You have to control these cases, you have to choose the proper case when you talk, and it makes German really a hard language to learn because you have to be always concentrated. And it is really very hard to do it when you speak and when you want to speak fluently, and when you want to express your thought, you constantly have to stop to make sure, does the person I'm talking to even understand me, because of all these small things that make this language. I'm very sorry if the picture has changed. My gimbal has died. Fifth, tenses. Honestly, it's very strange for me. There are tenses like in the English language, like they have got their own past perfect, present perfect and past simple, but they use only present perfect. Past simple and past perfect exist only for their writing. Only when you write something you use these tenses, and when people speak they don't use them and understand each other perfectly. So here I have got a question: why would you even need them? Are they really necessary for you in such case? Honestly, maybe it's hard for me to understand it because my own language, which is Russian, has got only 3 tenses. If you want me to make a video about Russian language and what I think is difficult in it as a native speaker, write it in the comments section, and thank you for your subscription and for your like. So these tenses are really hard for me because you forget this grammar because you don't use them while speaking. You only use them while writing or reading, but the speaking practice makes you to understand everything much better, and without it, it becomes really hard. This is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want, I can with great pleasure make the second part, because I can talk about the difficulties of learning German for ages. See you in my next video. Bye!